The letter sat before Rebecca, untouched for hours. The pen was in her hand, but the words felt impossible to write. How do you apologize for something that happened years ago? How do you put into words the guilt that had festered in the deepest parts of her heart, growing heavier with each passing year? Her hand trembled as she brought the pen to the page. She could still picture Emma's face as clearly as if it had been yesterday. The hurt in her eyes, the betrayal, the way their friendship, once unbreakable, had fractured beyond repair. Rebecca had wanted to apologize so many times before, but had never found the courage. Now, she didn't even know if it was too late. It had been 5 years since they last spoke. Rebecca remembered that day in vivid detail. The argument had been over something trivial, a misunderstanding that had spiraled out of control. They had both said things they didn't mean, but Rebecca had gone too far. Her words, sharp and cruel, had cut Emma deeply. She had accused her of things that weren't true, throwing insecurities in her face in a moment of anger, knowing exactly how to wound her. And it had worked. Emma had looked at her with shock, then pain, then a sadness that Rebecca could never forget. That sadness had haunted her ever since. Emma had left without another word, and Rebecca hadn't tried to stop her. At the time, her pride had gotten in the way, telling her that she was right, that Emma deserved it. But as the days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, Rebecca had realized the truth. She had been wrong. Deeply, unforgivably wrong. Emma had been her best friend. More than that, her sister in everything but blood. They had grown up together, shared every secret, every dream, every heartbreak. And Rebecca had thrown it all away in one careless moment. But by the time she realized her mistake, it had been too late. Emma had moved on, leaving Rebecca behind. She had seen her a few times after the fallout, at mutual friends' weddings, in passing on the street, but they never spoke. The distance between them had become insurmountable, and the apology Rebecca had wanted to give stayed locked inside her, unspoken. Now, as she sat in her quiet apartment, Rebecca felt the weight of the years pressing down on her. The regret was unbearable. She had tried to push it aside, tried to convince herself that it was just a friendship that had ended, like so many others do. But deep down, she knew better. Losing Emma had left a void in her life that no one else could fill. And so, she decided to write. Even if Emma never read it, even if the words stayed on this page forever, unsent, Rebecca needed to say what she should have said 5 years ago. Dear Emma, I don't know if this letter will ever find its way to you, but I need to write it. I need to tell you what I've been carrying with me for so long. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for everything I said to you that day, for the way I hurt you, and for the way I let our friendship slip away. It's been years, and I've never stopped thinking about it. I've never stopped regretting the way I treated you. You didn't deserve any of it. I was angry, and I lashed out in ways that were cruel and unfair. I said things that I didn't mean, things that were designed to wound you because, in that moment, I wanted to hurt you. I've thought about that day so many times, and I still can't believe I allowed my pride and my anger to destroy something so important. You were my best friend, Emma. My sister in every way that mattered. We shared everything, and I threw it all away. Not a day goes by that I don't miss you, that I don't wish I could go back and undo what I said. But I can't. I can only tell you now, as best I can, that I am deeply, profoundly sorry. I know that I don't deserve your forgiveness. I know that you may never even want to hear from me again. But I needed to say this. I needed to tell you how much I regret losing you, how much I regret my part in the end of our friendship. I hope you're happy, wherever you are and whatever you're doing. You deserve that. You deserve all the good things that life has to offer. I just wish I had been a better friend to you when it mattered most. With all my heart, Rebecca. As Rebecca finished the letter, tears blurred her vision. She folded the paper carefully, placing it inside an envelope, but she didn't seal it. She wasn't ready to send it. Not yet. Maybe not ever. But something inside her had shifted. The words were out now, the apology no longer buried deep inside. She didn't know if it would change anything, if it would bring any closure. But for the first time in years, Rebecca felt a small sense of relief. A sense that maybe one day she would find the courage to send the letter. Or perhaps she would run into Emma, and the apology could be spoken instead of written. For now, the letter sat on the table, a quiet testament to the pain of their broken friendship, and the hope that one day, the scar it left behind could begin to heal. Maybe it was too late to repair what had been lost, but the apology, the truth, was finally there. And that, for now, was enough.